Hello and welcome to this Foster Care Institute training webinar. This is a special webinar in a series of webinars designed for foster parent recruitment for today's foster care agencies, creating a strong recruitment program for strong families. This is the fourth in a series of training webinars for foster care agencies, and if you've not watched the first three, I encourage you to go back and watch these first. This one today is Getting to Know the Needs of Your Agency, Part 2. I'm your host, the founder and director of the Foster Care Institute, Dr. John DeGarmo. I also serve as an international speaker and trainer traveling across the United States and the globe as a consultant, as a trainer for foster care agencies. I'm also the author of several foster parenting books, and of course, I am the proud father of 6 children. 3 of those children came to me biologically, and 3 of those children came to me from the foster care agency through adoption. For me, there is no label. There is no difference. All of my children are simply that, my children. There's no adopted. There's no foster. There's no biological. There's no black or white. They are all my children, and I love each of them the same. Our goal during today's webinar is to increase your understanding of the needs your agency needs in regards to recruiting new foster parents. Now let's be frank. Agencies across the country are struggling to recruit new foster parents. And in previous webinars, we've seen some of the challenges that agencies face when trying to recruit new foster parents and some of the challenges that foster parents face before saying, I give up, I quit, I can no longer do this. And as we've noted in these webinar series, recruitment really does go hand in hand with retention. But right now, we're going to increase your awareness of the needs of your agency and why this awareness is so important. We're also going to help you gain an understanding of how to develop a needs assessment, which we started in Part 1, and we're going to continue to do so here in Part 2. Now, after your needs have been assessed, it is important to also define your goals for recruitment, as well as your vision and mission. Now, perhaps you've heard of that, vision and mission statements. We hear that in all walks of businesses, all walks of organizations, nonprofits, schools, businesses, they all have vision and mission statements. Vision and mission statements are important as they will help your agency to focus upon your important goals. Vision and mission statements help to explain what you wish to accomplish to a much broader audience, as well as your community. Finally, vision and mission statements help to provide a basis as you develop other aspects of your plan. Now, perhaps your agency already has a vision mission statement. Perhaps your agency is trying to create one now. Perhaps your agency has never even considered a vision mission statement. Whatever it may be, know this, they are very important for the reasons we just listed beforehand. And if your agency already has a vision and mission statement in place, I encourage you to pull it out, to pause this webinar for a moment, to go back and dig up your vision and mission statement and bring it back in front of this webinar and look it over as we talk about vision and mission statements during this webinar. So go ahead right now and pause that webinar. A vision mission statement describes what your agency's goal is and why you are focusing upon this goal. So successful vision mission statements are those that are understood and easily shared by members of an organization. Successful vision statements are those that are motivating to all involved in the program. Successful vision statements are those that are simple enough to communicate, but generally short enough for a slogan. So what does a vision statement look like? What does it look like for a foster care agency? You may have seen them at your church. You may have seen them at a school your child goes to. Perhaps you've seen it at a business or a nonprofit that you may be familiar with. Maybe at your local coffee shop or your favorite ice cream store. And I name those because those are favorites for my wife and I. They may have a vision statement up on their menu. But what does it look like for a foster care agency? Well, an example might look like this. Your foster care agency's vision is to continuously innovate to provide successful, stable, and proven programs that support family relationships. And where it has the words there, foster care agencies, just go ahead and insert your name in there. And that's what it might look like. Now, a mission statement is often the next step in helping you define your goals. Mission statements are those that define what your agency is going to do and why your agency is going to do this. An example might look like this. The mission of the foster care agency is to recruit foster families to help empower, support, and advocate for children in X community. Mission statements are similar to vision statements, as they both look at the entire problem or bigger picture, so to speak. Mission statements differ as they are more specific. They're more of a call for action, if you will. Generally, mission statements are one sentence in length and are broad enough so they don't limit an organization when planning strategies, plans, and policies. So with that in mind, after you create your vision and mission, and make sure you do not skip that step, the mission statement, it is a truly important one. It is time to begin defining your agency's recruitment goals. When defining your agency's recruitment goals, consider the answers. Consider the answers to the following questions. If you recall in part 1 of this 2-part webinar series, we looked at answering lots of questions about the makeup of what you want as a foster parent and the needs of the children in your community. Now you need to start looking at the answers for your agency's recruitment goals, and they might be this. What does your agency hope to accomplish from your recruitment program? How many families do you hope to train and license within the next 12 months? Other questions you need to ask yourself, you need to consider the answers as you determine and define your agency's recruitment goals include: how many resources or respite families does your agency hope to train and license within the next 12 months? What resources, what funding do you currently have for your agency's recruitment plans? If anything, perhaps your agency has no funding for recruitment. If that's the case, that's a concern. What does your agency need in order to achieve these goals? Does your agency need more staff? Does your agency need more volunteers? Does your agency need more time? More staff, more volunteers, more times when it comes to your agency's recruitment plans? Do you need a staff member specifically for recruitment? Do you need volunteers to help you recruit? Do you need more time to set aside to focus on recruiting? Does your agency need, when it comes to your goals for recruitment, does your agency need a faster response time to inquiries, to prospective foster parents, and to phone calls? Does your agency need additional training for staff on recruitment? Do you need to add resources on recruitment for your agency? Now, there are several forms of recruitment that your agency can focus upon. The following types of recruitment we're going to look at are the most popular types, the most popular forms. This is not meant to be an all-inclusive list, okay? As there are so many different forms of recruitment that your agency might employ. Again, the following types of recruitment are the most popular forms. So with that in mind, let's look at this first one. Child-specific recruitment. Child-specific recruitment focuses upon finding relatives, finding even close friends of the child's family in an attempt to having the child placed in that home. Now, we hear about this over and over again in the news, and I'm sure your agency's talked about this as well. The importance of kinship care, keeping the children with family. We're hearing a lot more about grandparents caring for their grandchildren. This is child-specific recruitment. Again, it focuses upon finding relatives or even close friends of the child's family in an attempt to have the child placed in that home. In some cases, the caseworker works side by side with the child to determine and explore possible possible family and friends replacement of the child. Now, with this in mind, it is imperative, it is essential that careful screening of each potential foster family be employed for the safety and well-being of that child. And if the child is placed with a family, a relative family, a kinship family, grandparents, close friends, that can best meet the child's specific needs. Child-specific recruitment is one that is done on an individual basis in that it is individualized for the specific child. Now, as a result, this can be more time-consuming and require more resources, and as a result, be more expensive. Let me stress this again once more, please. It is absolutely imperative that careful screening of each potential family member, kinship, close friends of family be employed for the safety and well-being of the child, because we are reading in the news more and more stories, we're hearing on TV and online more and more stories of children being placed with relatives and it turning out in tragic form. And it breaks my heart. I know it breaks your heart as well. Faith-based recruitment. Faith-based recruitment focuses upon recruiting foster parents and foster families from faith-based organizations and churches in the community. Indeed, if you've read my book, Faith and Foster Care, or the sequel, The Church in Foster Care, I talk about in those books the next great mission field for today's people of faith, and that is helping children in their own community, helping children in need and in crisis, and families in need and families in crisis right where they live. History shows that faith-based organizations have been a consistent factor in regards to providing foster families for several decades now. Indeed, many foster agencies can trace their roots and origins back to faith-based organizations. In addition, many faith-based organizations have established themselves as trustworthy, established themselves as reliable within your community, and have developed important relationships within your community as well. People of faith are often motivated to help others, including children and families in need and in crisis. Now, myself, I spent 4 summers in Mexico. 4 summers in Mexico building houses for those in need. My children have gone to Honduras and Nicaragua. We've all loved those experiences, and they are so important for my family as not only part of our faith, but building character and awareness and skills as well. Yet, what many faith based organizations are recognizing is this, what I just mentioned, that they don't have to travel far to see there's a crisis in their own neighborhood and their own communities. When faith based organizations begin to recognize that they can play a part of helping in the foster care system by helping the children, by helping the foster parents, and as a result, helping the birth parents as well, these faith based organizations will begin to wish to work side by side with you. We will we will look into this and spend much more time in this in a webinar coming up in this series. General recruitment. General recruitment is the most common form of foster parent recruiting. Probably what your agency has been doing all along. You just may not recognize this. At the same time, it is also the least focused, as it reaches out to the general masses, if you will, or in general society. It's the type of recruitment that most agencies employ. Again, it is the least focused. Now, this type of recruitment, this format of recruitment, often utilizes the use of media, including radio, TV, print media. It is a type of recruitment that sees billboards on the side of the road, little signs in yards. It also uses social media and other public service announcements. General recruitment may also include the use of billboards, as I mentioned earlier, people at booths, at public fairs and events, and even other community functions. Now, some agencies have employed the use of flyers and ads at restaurants and businesses, but there are some challenges. There are some challenges when employing a general recruitment format. First, you may find a number of potential foster families are unsuitable to your needs. You've spent all this time and energy reaching out to your community. You put billboards up, signs in yards, flyers, ads on TV, in the radio, newspapers, magazines. You've had a lot of people come in and ask about becoming a foster parent with your agency, but you will find, though, that there may be a number of these people simply unsuitable to become a foster parent, whether it's your agency or any agency at all. Along with this, your message of recruitment can become muddled, may be confused and muddled due to the differences in cultural beliefs, cultural views. As a result, your recruitment message must be one that reaches your entire community in order for the greatest overall success. Another popular type of recruitment is one that is known as sibling-focused recruitment. Sibling-focused recruitment focuses upon ensuring that sibling groups are placed in the same family, the same household. Over and over again, throughout the years, research has shown, and you most likely know this to be true. You very well may agree with this. Perhaps you disagree. Research has shown, though, that the placement of siblings together is important for maintaining healthy relationships, healthy connections between family members. Research has also shown that sibling placements experience better permanency outcomes. Those agencies that enact sibling-focused recruitment models must be proactive in placements for sibling groups with foster families. Now, to be sure, we know this to be true as well. There are those times when sibling groups may have to split up for the best interests and the well-being of one or some of the children. And finally, our last and the more popular, the more traditional forms of recruitment is the targeted recruitment, if you will. Targeted recruitment focuses upon the specific needs of that individual child, the specific needs of that one child that you're trying to get placed into a home, and the right fit, the right placement for that specific child, for that individual child in a foster home in your community. You're targeting in, if you will, upon finding a specific family for a specific child's needs. Because we know this to be true as well. Not every placement is always a good placement. Some families are better at caring for infants, while other families may be better at caring for teenagers. Some placements might be best for all boys or all girls. Some foster families may wish to care for girls who are pregnant or with newborn babies. Some might wish to focus on children who are about to age out, or youth who are right about to age out. Some might focus on meeting the needs of children with special needs. Not every foster parent is the best placement for every single child. So targeted recruitment, again, focuses upon a specific need of a child and the right fit and placement for that child. Targeted placement may be for those children who have had their parental rights terminated and are up for adoption. For sibling groups, targeted recruitment may be for those children who are aging out. Targeted placement may be for those older youth or for pregnant teens or young mothers with newborn babies, as we just mentioned. Targeted recruitment may be targeting placement for those who are those children and those youth who are hard to place, or for children with specific needs. Now, in addition, agencies need to ensure that they have all the data, that they have all the information about the child before going ahead and seeking out the right placement, the right family for this specific child. What you do not want to do is find a family and then place a child in it without finding all the information about that child, because a family might come say to you, hey, we didn't know this child had this specific need. Hey, we didn't know this child had this particular issue or is facing this sort of anxiety. We can't handle this. Please take this child back, and burn the bridges with those foster families because they felt they were thrown into something against their will. This is how you lose foster parents. So again, with that in mind, targeted recruitment demands that agencies find the right family for the specific and targeted child, and to ensure that they have all the data and information about the child before seeking out the right family for the specific child. Now, this can be time-consuming for your agency. This can take up a lot of your time when you're trying to focus on one specific child and finding the right fit for that child. Now, as we continue through this series of webinars based on recruitment for foster families, we will look at how faith-based organizations can play a part in this, how your local community leaders, your civic organizations, teachers play a part in this. We will look at how to create PSAs, and we will look at how to use the traditional media as part of your recruitment program, and so much more. Now, so for much more information and resources about all things foster care related, please visit my website, Dr. John DeGarmo, fostercare.com, where you will find the Foster Care Institute. If you haven't done already, please follow me on Facebook and Twitter. You'll find so much there, all things foster care. I'm sharing information on a consistent daily basis for you, for your agency, for your foster parents, and for society in general. And if I can answer any questions in any way, shape, or form, please email me at drjohndegarmo@gmail.com. And once again, here is, I believe, the perfect book for children being placed in foster care. This is a book that your agency, your caseworkers, your foster parents can pull off the shelf and read to the child as they're first placed in the foster care home. A Different Home, a New Foster Child's Story. And there are so many more books at the Foster Care Institute. I named a few earlier tonight in this webinar, Faith in Foster Care and the Church in Foster Care. Check out the Foster Care Survival Guide. That's a great one for your foster parents, as well as the Foster Parenting Manual as well. Thank you so much for taking time out of your, I'm sure, very, very, very busy schedule to be part of this webinar. I know that you have much to do as one who works with foster parents, as one who works with the children, as one who works with the birth parents, as one who works with CASAs and courts and judges and law enforcement. You have much on your plate. So I'm appreciative of all you do, and I'm grateful you're taking time to watch this webinar and work on your foster parent recruitment. Our nation needs more foster parents across the country, across the globe. For the Foster Care Institute, I'm Dr. John DeGarmo.